Here's something I bet you probably haven't had occasion to ask too many people. In this period of time when the sound of music is once again going around all those hills, and we're talking about it, huge audiences on television, I get to ask an old friend of mine, what's it like being a nun? Rosemary Scarfo, you and I have worked together for 24 years at KTAR.
Right.
And how long were you in the convent?
9 years.
Where?
In Youngstown, Ohio. I was an Ursuline nun. That's a teaching order.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught school there for 6 of those years.
Why did you go into the convent? You have 3 choices. Because you wanted to be closer to God, something for you that would benefit you spiritually, or because your mom wanted you to?
Oh, my mom did not encourage me. In fact, I wouldn't even tell her I was thinking about it.
Really?
Uh-huh. It was me and the nuns at in the high school that I attended. I thought that would be the easiest way for me to get to heaven. My mom and dad were very, very strict with me, and very, very strict Catholics. And then when I found out that if I went into the convent, they'd tell me what to do all the time. And if I did what they told me what to do, best way to get to heaven ever. And I was drawn to that type of life.
Was the convent stricter than your family?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about the arrival of the convent and your introduction to Catholic discipline.
Oh my. There were a lot of things like asking for penance whenever you did something wrong.
What was something wrong?
Well, one day I was running the sweeper, and it was one of my chores, and I grabbed the cord and I yanked it out. Well, the plug stayed in the outlet there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was a big thing. That was a big thing, because then it had to be fixed. And so what you do is I went to my mother superior and said, "Mother, may I ask for a penance?" And I knelt down, kissed the floor, all of that, and told her what I did, and then she told me my penance.
In the recent live production of Sound of Music that we just saw, we see Maria von Trapp asking permission to speak, asking permission to sing, even outside, asking permission for everything. Mm-hmm. Is that the way it is?
Absolutely. We asked permission for everything.
Why? What's the value?
Well, it was the humility. It was basically that, just keeping us humble. There was no room for us. We had to let Christ come into us, and so there was no pride or, well, I'm just going to do this. No, we had to ask for everything.
Sounds like it would damage your self-esteem.
You know, yes. I think that I spent so much time being perfect, trying to be perfect, and failing miserably, that I didn't feel very good about myself.
But that isn't the purpose of going to the convent, is it?
No, no. It was to become a good person, to become compassionate, to learn what God wanted us to be doing, and to make ourselves better and better and better.
You had taken your permanent vows, right? That meant you were locked in.
Yes, I took my final vows, and I had to go to the bishop when I wanted to leave the convent. I had to go to the bishop, and they didn't think I was going to last out in the world. They thought I'd come back. They really did. So I left, and I had vows: poverty, chastity, obedience, and instruction of youth in the world. So they could have, you know, okay, Rosemary, we need you here, go here. They left me, you know, everything was fine. And I decided at the end that I was quite happy being out of the convent.
And out in the world.
And out in the world.
What was the effect of those 9 years on your life over the last several years, and now this transition to the crazy world of broadcast news?
You know, I went into the convent when I was 17, and I was very, very impressionable. And I think that it had such a very good effect on me, besides the self-esteem thing. But it has a great influence on my life as far as my spiritual life with God, with Jesus, and but I've learned how to just make it go deeper, and maybe not in the ways of the simple girl that I was. I think the world is a very tough place to live.
Are you a better person for having been there?
Absolutely.
9 years in the convent?
Mm-hmm.
All of that, you refer to it as humility, some would say humiliation.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you don't regret?
I never regret one day of going into the convent, and I never regret leaving.
Okay, now you're married. You're married, mother of 3, grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Considering your whole life now, the decision to go into the convent, the 9 years, that's a hunk of your life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And then the decision to go out and to teach and then to get into business and broadcasting. Tell me how you would advise a young Maria von Trapp now, and she might see one of these broadcasts and say, oh, I want to talk to that lady about whether I should go in or not.
Maria, go into the convent if you want to. Please. You need to experience, if that's what you're being drawn to, absolutely go.
And I would do 2 choruses of Climb Every Mountain if only we had more time on What's It Like. My guest, Rosemary Scarfo. I'm Pat McMahon on KTAR.com.